Say what? Look.
It's the new OGs. The new OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your home, and do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a black-owned company and a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters. Yes, sir. Bobby! Yes. That's frightening up close, isn't it? You thought it was weird. You thought it was weird sitting in here when you were alone. Now you got two people in here. One of them's yelling.
Jesus Christ. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you got to get it right for the people.
Yeah, we got it right for the people, man, because that's some dope shit you just said.
Got to get it right for the people.
Did you just tell the people listening that if they own a home and they go solar,
right,
that they could save money every month on an electric bill that they got to pay anyway?
They could save money on electric bill they got to pay anyway. Yep.
They could do something to help the environment for the little children's and the children's children.
For the children's and the children's children's. Yep. For all of them, they could do something.
And even if they don't, but they refer somebody that does,
yeah,
they can get $500 keep for themselves off of themselves.
They get $500 keep for themselves.
Man, hey, I just want to say I look good in white, nigga. Look at this. Woo, it's after Memorial Day. Look at me.
Live in the studio. Listen, if you want to get your white threads for the summertime, because you know it's that time of year, get over to www.gosolarmasters.com. Get in contact for a free consultation. Or refer somebody that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. That is a network that we're on right now. That is how we are amazingly able to portal in Rob Hines all the way from L.A., California, into a live studio with us and have you catch it all at the same time. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows they got offered there. Find them on Twitch or YouTube. Subscribe. Check in daily. They've got new fresh podcasts that you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. We got a bunch of shit that we're going to be going over today.
Go Hayes.
You know, the meme stonks are back.
Stonk.
The stonks are back.
I just learned meme talk last night. So, like, I'm all up on it. I thought Bobby made a typo when he says stonks. And I was like, hey, man, you usually help me out with the typo game.
Right.
Let me help you out. And you're like, nah, that wasn't a typo, my nigga.
Yeah, you got to get up
on the meme game.
Then I had to send you other memes with that dude in there.
Yeah, so my son is a meme lord. It's what's keeping him a virgin. And I'm cool on that because I fuck. But no, just playing. I'm just playing. I learned all this shit. Like it's weird. It's weird. I always say my life is a fucking simulation because I learned this shit last night. Patrick, Sinker at the Comedy Shrine, was explaining one about something about smart crayons or some shit and Game of Thrones. And it was goofy, but I understood what the concept of the meme was. I just thought it was kind of dumb. But anyway, it was the same type of thing with the stonk and the stocks, and because it's stupid. Whatever. I get it. I'm not on board with it. I get it. I think this is part of the old in the OG where I like the old part of me is like that shit's stupid.
And you're also one of these like former economics investment guys too, who's like, you know.
I'm not against it. No, man. I switched teams.
You're pro finance. I get that, but like also you're one of those guys who like you learned from the stodgy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You learn from a bunch of people who are like you wear your bow tie and you must fucking.
Hey, let's put it to you like this: when I was a little kid and I started trading places, I thought the Duke brothers plan was cold as fuck. Like I thought them niggas, I was like, hey, I'm with Eddie, but I like what these Duke niggas is doing.
This is a fun little bet they got going.
Yeah, on, yeah. Like I was like, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I could do that shit almost legally. Like how can I corner the orange juice concentrate market legally?
What have you been knocking down, man? What's your week been like?
Hey man, my OG moment was I have lost a little bit of weight. Not enough that I'm like bragging yet, because if anybody looking at me like, no, you ain't. Yeah, I lost a little bit, and I had a moment of proof.
What have you been knocking down?
Whoa. What's that? We got some real feedback happening? Oh, that's you. I had a moment of proof because I wasn't sure if I had. and I put on some shorts that used to be so tight on me. I bought them, and I bought them too small, but they were really cool shorts, and I just didn't want to send them back. I don't think they had a larger size. And I was like, I'm going to work my way down into these shorts. I had these shorts for like 8 years, and I've never been able to wear them.
A lot of work going on.
And I wore them today.
Maybe not so much.
And I could breathe. Like, I put them on, and they look like shorts. Like, you couldn't tell that, like, they were a more snug fit than I would normally wear.
Right.
Like my nuts were not happy with me for the time that I had them on. However, my waist and my thighs were like, nah, we good. You know?
Right.
The nuts were protesting.
If you just get the nuts to get along, which everything else would be all right.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So if I could, so I have a very weird build. Okay. I have there's fragments of athletes still left in my build, surrounded by fat dudeness, and like one of my fragments of like athlete is I have an insanely tight ass. I'm not gonna ask you to touch it, Bobby. Just trust me.
I mean, I could answer you whether you ask me to touch it or not. I know what the answer is gonna be. It's gonna be absolutely.
Because you're sitting right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so close. It's been a year and a half of loneliness. What do you expect me to do? Not touch a tight ass that gets presented to me?
I have, like my ass is too small for the rest of, like, if you ever see me in public,
when you have to leave, you have to turn front first. Like, I don't want to touch your dick.
My pants sometimes look like I'm trying to sag, like I'm trying to be on some thug shit or something like that. My ass is too tight for the rest of my body. My thickness and my gut and my thighs is way bigger than my ass. I got a tight ass. It is what it is. The ass stayed tight somehow.
A lot of 3-point stances.
Yeah. I think it was because a whole lot of just defense, man. I used to be the cat that slapped the paint. You know, like, come on, let's go. You know,
of course you were.
So yeah, I was down. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in that stance and carrying this truck around. Maybe that just gave me permanent great ass.
Yeah, your upper body is like Optimus Prime. That's what you're literally like carrying a semi truck around.
Dude, you know, people always ask me.
You know how the black lion from Voltron was always bigger than the other lions?
People always ask me, like, I got the gorilla as my logo, and people are like, oh, you're on some racist shit. You trying to do there's a double entendre there that I am trying to fuck with people with, but I also am built like a gray back, like a silverback. Like, I'm built like a silverback, like a motherfucker. Like that is literally my build right now. Like, you can see that there's muscle there, but there's also so. I'm trying to get rid of the fat and just get down to like the muscle and look more athletic again, but it's a process.
Yeah, I had to figure some shit out this week because I am a light-skinned man living with a white woman in a black neighborhood, and I feel weird about trying to ask my neighbors to turn their bass down. That is my concern right now.
Hey, you went from Bobby to Bob.
And I want to be like, listen, I'm just old. Okay, I just want to be like, listen, I'm just old. Hey. That's it. Like, I love, like, and I'll hear it. I'm like, shit, I would like this too. I just don't want it on right now, right? Yeah. Like, I gotta do my shit here right now. Oh, and I don't want to get into bass wars because that never ends well for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I just, but also, like, I'm the
end well.
But also, I'm the
end well for Radio Raheem.
No, I'm the lightest nigga in the joint. You know what I mean? And there's a white lady there, and I don't want to. And hey, I feel even more insulting. I'm like, listen, she's a doctor.
That's hilarious.
It's not even for me. It's for the white lady who lives.
I was wondering if you blackened up before you went and said something. Like, you throw a dashiki on, you know.
The Black Lives Matter mask.
You just got a T-shirt with you and your pops.
I wear this is the shirt I wear. I wear this shirt that's like, listen, we all black. Right. Yeah, we all in here together.
I'm the B. See the B? That's me.
And made a kufi or some shit.
Yeah.
And then walk over to dude with some dark round ass glasses on, like, hey, homie, can I get you to cut that shit down at this time of the day? And then just walk the fuck away. I guarantee you that shit'll be cut down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers know light-skinned niggas is the most militant.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we often find ourselves in a double uphill battle against both y'all and white people trying to get somebody to be like,
you gotta out.
Will anybody just want us in, please? Does anybody?
You gotta out-black the darker skinned people.
We just trying to be on A team so we don't get fucking exterminated first. You know what I mean?
Like, we know reason why. I'm just saying it is still the fact. You know what I mean?
Hey, light-skinned thugs are always a problem. I knew some dark-skinned killers, but light-skinned thugs usually was at the heart of what was causing everybody to get shot.
In one way or another, right? Yeah. Rob, what's going on with you, man? What's your world like?
Last night I went this sister named Samantha Abrams, right here.
Sam Abrams, yeah.
Yeah, man. This chick has a joint called Speak, and it is a comedy club in her apartment.
Wow.
And it was amazing, man. It was really cool. It was like about 10 people in there. And people just kept coming in and out. So comics would come in, do a few minutes, and then leave or stick around. And it was a lot of fun, man. It was some funny dudes there last night. But my OG moment, dog, my OG moment was I just want to take this time to tell the world, fuck Bobby. Okay, so I have this thing is always ruining my illusions. You know what I mean? So like I have been drinking bubbling water because it's so much better than regular fucking water. It
really is. It's delicious.
Regular water is ass.
And so I'm like, okay, well I'm drinking water. I'm cool, right? Nigga, I got down to 2 of them for the last 5 days, and all I've been drinking is flat water. I lost 4 pounds.
See, I'm sorry, man. I know I hate it too. I
just hated turning myself. I'm looking at this shit right now like, fuck you, water. I was happy as hell.
See, that's why I had
cans and shit.
That's why I had to get this blue thing, because then I don't even know. I don't see the water. I don't even know it's water till it hits me, and then I'm just like, well, it's too late now. It's in the mouth. I was just drinking. I know why.
It's in my mouth. I'm not gonna spit it out.
I felt like I very understood a situation that I've been on the other side of before, where someone's just been like, I'm just gonna swallow this down. It's already here. I didn't realize this is what was going to happen, but might as well just take it in. It is Pride Month.
Yes, it is. Get excited.
There's a follow up.
Your segue game is on fire as usual.
I'm telling you, dude.
It's Pride Month. It's funny, James. You posted a bunch of fucking great pictures. I'm gonna probably steal one of those and repost them somewhere with credit to you, obviously. But all the companies are reaching out for the month.
Hold on, did you see Robitussin just put theirs out?
No, come on, Robitussin.
The Tussin's out here, bro. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Show you.
Robitussin is like, we don't really give a shit who you want to fuck, as long as when you get sick from whatever the fuck you're doing.
Hit the test.
Yeah.
Ever since Chris Rock made that joke, I have never used Robitussin once.
No.
In like protests.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I will not contribute to this shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm not trying to participate in the test. Oh my god.
Hey man, you know what the most fucked up is?
That looks like a joke.
There's a motherfucker with a 6-figure salary that came up with that though. Like a team of motherfuckers. It wasn't one. There was probably like 3 or 4 motherfuckers. It was like a small crew of people.
And I bet you none of them was gay.
6-figure motherfuckers. No, I bet none of them was gay. I said not a single one of them was gay because they didn't come up with it. A gay person would not have come up with that for Robitussin.
There are gay people working at Robitussin who are just like, God damn. I mean,
this also, I just have to say,
thanks, but
from a design aspect, this is the laziest fucking way to do this. They didn't even put like the flag behind the word.
They didn't even make the letters.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think anybody gay was on it, because I'm not saying I'm not trying to tell gay people how to represent, but I'm saying looking at that, I was like, that does not look like something that if I was a gay person, I would be like, I'm proud of that.
They're just like slap this black rectangle on the flag.
Minimal effort.
If you change those colors to red, black, and green, and like I had to present that as like, hey, Robitussin, this is what you should do with Black History Month, I quit.
Right. Yeah, like,
I'd quit in protest if I had to do that.
Yeah, the design is poor, right? Like, it's like
it looked I thought when James put that up initially,
I thought he was just fucking around.
Yeah, I thought that was this is real. I thought that was like a joke thing. That's their actual thing.
Like, who they get to a straight dude designed it for sure. That's the only thing I can tell you is that's definitely designed by a straight dude. They got no input.
That's a straight dude, a straight white dude, because he was like, "This what they like, rainbows. We'll put this on here." You know,
slap some tussin on it.
I will say
some tussin on it.
I will say one of the
watch Chris Rock too many times.
One of the weird things about this month being a cishet dude. and being polyamorous is it's the time of the year where there's a weird argument that goes on between polyamorous people and members of the LGBT community who are oftentimes themselves like there's a large percentage of polyamorous people who are also in the LGBT community.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some would say the same, if not greater than, the people who are actually straight who are in the polyamorous community.
Yeah. There's a lot of bisexual energy.
And polyamory is also completely unprotected when it comes to like laws regarding like job safety and things like.
Or more important, like succession and rights, like which partner would get to see you if you were sick or something like that.
Yeah, it's a very for the sake of passing on of wealth and a lot of other tax issues. It's not good. It's not good for the state. Accepting polyamory is not good for the state.
There's a lot of real life stuff. Like for instance, if I wanted to put two of my partners on my property for some reason, it's like after the boy's grown and in the league somewhere, and I decide I want to move. That's right, baby girl. I know you watching the show. Yeah, we moving a bitch in, okay? But no, just playing. I'm getting fucked up. This is gonna get my ass kicked after the show. But
skip ahead 30 seconds, starting 35 seconds ago.
I couldn't.
God, the way he said it was told like a pimp.
Yeah, I'm getting fucked up after the show. But like I couldn't put both of them on the property. Like I would have to choose, which is.
I mean, I know people who have lost hours at a job because their supervisor overheard them talking about a boyfriend while knowing they were married.
Oh, wow.
And obviously not this. The passing ability of someone who's poly is obviously different from some people who are in some different variations in the LGBT community, but like the oppression still happens. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting time for that argument. Some things that aren't being argued about anymore is the massacre that went on in Tulsa 100 years ago. Biden went down to Tulsa. I wouldn't say
it's not being argued about anymore. It's just like the mayor of Tulsa right now is standing up against reparations and shit. So there is a little bit of argument going on.
Hey, Dig, that is not an argument. That is just we ain't giving you shit.
Thank you. I don't think there's there's no argument there. They're just not going to do anything for it. Biden has gone to Tulsa. He's the first president ever to go down and actually acknowledge what happened in Tulsa. Along with that,
he sat with the three survivors. And the fact that that's a phrase that's real in the world, that there's three people who survived an event that happened 100 years ago is fucking amazing. 3 black people survived over 100 years. Those are superheroes. Like, they either vampires or superheroes or something like that. How the fuck do you live 100 years being a black in America?
Well, not only that, but like you live
after you live through that.
Right, you live through that, which makes me feel like also like the
rest of life was better.
Maybe the rest of your life was better. That's also possible.
That had to be the worst thing that happened in their life. Their whole home got bombed. There couldn't be anything that happened to your life worse than that.
Yeah, that's you get through that and you're just like, well, obviously, what could be worse than this? Oh, you're gonna break up with me? Bye, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
my whole home was bombed.
Oh, did I get fired? Okay, no big deal.
My whole home was bombed.
Was I put on fire? No, then I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's all gonna be.
Oh, so you telling me I can't sit in your little shop and drink your little soda?
My whole home was bombed.
That's a weird punchline to a bit, but it's you got it working right now. Also,
I'm sticking with it.
Also going on while that was happening, a bunch of black gun owners went down and marched in Tulsa on Tulsa's Black Wall Street to commemorate the event. I'm not sure if was this a not fucking around.
That's how this shit got started.
I know. Isn't this how this?
That's exactly how this whole shit got started.
Not really the way to get it off.
It was white folks at the crib. They was pulling their shit out. We got to tell them every 100 years.
Every 100 years or so, we got the Tree of Liberty.
Kind of some Martian Manhunter shit showing up at the very end. You know what I mean? Just like
yeah.
So just some Snyder cut Martian Manhunter.
The article is saying that this is the new Black Panther Party.
Oh yeah.
Not NFAC, but they look. I thought I saw what's his name, Grandmaster, from NFAC in one of the.
It
videos.
Could be a combo.
It might have been both.
Might be rolling
could
solo,
be the combo
maybe,
deal, you know.
Yeah.
You know, hey, he had to show up at a lot of places over the last year where a lot of people weren't working. He might not have the funds to bring a whole army to Tulsa, but he showed up.
I mean, I'd be definitely down to know that there's 2 black crews that are super deep that both want to carry around guns, just to be like, well, we just got this one. You know what I mean? Like the not fucking around crew are still, I think they're a little bit into some Christianity shit, which is, at some point I get to a point where you're just like, yeah.
Wait, the not fucking around crew is super Christian.
That's that's always how the baseball stuff. But like the Panthers, I remember not being necessarily stuck on a certain type of religion, which works for me. So I'm down for some I'm down for some variety in the actual like supernatural belief systems of my black people.
Okay.
I'm up for it. Up for it.
I'm pouting right now because I feel like the not fucking around crew being Christian and me saying that's some Kurt Franklin shit deserves some acknowledgement, and it got nothing. It got nothing from James. Didn't laugh at it. Nobody. I thought that was on point. I mean, I'm bringing it's a callback. That was because it was some weeks ago, but. Nobody at home. See, if you're with me, tried to, message.
Maybe people that caught the little cut in caught it, but we might have missed it here. I'm sorry. You get very angry about people not hearing the shit you try to slip in to the middle of a conversation about some other shit. Maybe somebody turned on your mic. That's what happened to Lieutenant Colonel Kempter. He got his mic cut.
That was some bullshit.
What the fuck?
That was some bullshit.
So this guy is giving an American Legion speech in Ohio, right? That's the basics of what's going on. He's giving his American Legion speech. And he had a part of his speech that they wanted him to cut out, apparently, that was talking about the number of slaves and black people who gave their lives in fighting as part of the Memorial Day remembrance that went on.
Also, more importantly, that freed black slaves invented Memorial Day.
Right.
Literally created it.
And so they want him to take it out of his speech. They sent him some email that they never responded to when he asked specifically what part. So, and he was told on the day of that the speech he had was fine. And so he got to that part, and...
You want me to play it?
Yeah, if you can play it, I guess.
Interesting that there would be a tie back to Hudson with that song from John Brown.
Most importantly, whether Charleston's declaration...
Oh, wow.
Memorial Day mayhem and ultimate show of disrespect towards...
I'm going to cut it so we don't get dropped, yeah. So he's the minute he got to the part where he was about to say some shit about, hey, black people did a bunch of shit to make this happen, like... so what I hear is the sound engineer wasn't going to touch it. The dude that does the sound for them, who's been doing sound for them for a long time, wasn't going to touch it. He pointed at the volume knob and told the chick running the shit, a chick name, I think her name is Cindy Sushan or something like that. He told her, you fucking turn that shit down. You want to turn it down for this dude.
And she did it.
And she told, and then one of the, I guess the other guy who runs the shit, he ended up being the one who actually turned. So neither of them will cop to being the one that turned it down.
That's how level of cowardice.
Right. Like they got 2 people there, so neither of them got to take the blame. Somebody turned the shit down and they both admit it wasn't the sound engineer. So like, both of y'all need to be, booted to the moon. You know what I mean?
Also, just imagine, just think about okay, for anybody watching the show who don't know, fucking Wikipedia the shit, man. Memorial Day was created by black soldiers who to pay respects to their fallen kin, and it became a thing. I'm pretty sure Lincoln saw it and was like, or heard about it and was like, that's dope. Let's do this shit every year. Right. That's the short of it. If I fucked up some small part of it, please do not.
Lincoln just riding the back of black folks to greatness again.
But that's like
this dude was a front runner, man. This dude was a front.
To get upset when this motherfucker, yeah, to get upset.
Lincoln was just a front runner.
That's what you do. When somebody drops a tag, and never mind. You acknowledge it. That was funny, Bobby.
Listen, I do segues. Okay. You do tag anger. Okay.
Fair enough. We gotta stay in your lane, Excel. Stay in your lane. But yeah, like to take that out of it that's a special type of racism. That's a special because and then to be too cowardice to stand up and say, yes, I didn't think it was appropriate and defend your position. That's why I always say racists are just fucking cowards, because if I did some shit like that, like if you had a speech and I had felt the need to turn the mic down, I would be glad to tell a motherfucker why I turned the mic down.
Nigga, you 6'7".
I would be. That's my privilege. But I like to think 5'7" XL would also be just as feisty, because I'd be mad about being a little nigga. And
I'll tell you this much:
6'1" XL might not have as much to say.
What you say, Rob?
5'9" Rob feel the same fucking way. I'm saying, like, for me, if it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. You know what I mean? I've been beat up before, and I beat up some folks, so whatever. But
hey, what's that getting beat up like?
It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
I just always wanted to ask somebody that. I never really,
Yeah, it's just
it's not.
I just fuck around. I had a big brother who used to whip the fuck out of me for years.
It's a special kind of thing, and that's there's been a big argument going on right now in regards to the teaching of critical race theory, and so many people don't even know what the fuck it means, or like you know what I mean, like people that don't get what it's trying to get across.
Sounds so ominous.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is like
truthful telling history.
Here's the thing though is like this is what not teaching it leads to. Like these continued attempts to block and forget about what's going on. The fact that you can't get a commission for 1-6. The fact that they're trying to get Chauvin to serve 30 years and his defense is arguing for a new trial and time served.
Probation.
They're legit trying. They're legit trying to get time served.
Because he's a product of a broken system. Wait a second, motherfucker. You were standing on a system literally for your entire defense. Now the system's broke.
Right.
You were saying like.
The system is why he did what he did, according to his people.
That was your whole defense. Now the system's broke, motherfucker. He gonna be a threat because he's in prison. Okay.
They're saying because of his lack.
That's why you shouldn't kill people, man.
They're saying because of his lack of age and the fact that he doesn't have a criminal record and support from family and friends is why they're requesting a sentence.
Lack of age.
Cited his age, lack of criminal record.
Oh.
And support from family and friends are requesting a
sentence. I thought it was like he's like his life. If he was older, we'd be like, "Fuck this nigga." But he's relatively young. He got like 30 years in him, man. You can't.
See, we're laughing. We're laughing. You know, you get in there sometimes. You know.
Fair enough. Oh my
god. And time served. They're trying to claim that the time he's like.
This shit was a year ago. This shit was a year ago.
Yo, they got a dude. They got a dude locked up in Missouri who's been in jail for over 40 years, and both the witness and the fucking
the prosecution
the people who also went to jail for it, who are now out of jail, also said this nigga wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Everybody said this dude ain't there, and this guy still can't get out.
It's. I mean, no matter what somebody say,
ceases to amaze me.
No,
right? I'm never really surprised. I'm just amazed at the bullshit that they weave as a reason for doing the shit that they do.
The crazy thing is, if an eyewitness, especially when the person who's the witness is when the judge and other people say the entire case was based off of this person's testimony, and that person says my testimony was a lie, I was pressured to say something that wasn't true. I don't give a fuck how long ago it was after when this person finally, because I can understand the fear of that. I can understand, like, fucking police can be terrifying to people, especially people who were brought up to believe that they were all powerful or whatever. And so whenever she spoke up in 2009, I want to say, and said, and actually is on like the defense with the defense organization trying to get this brother out. Like that should have been the end of it right there. Like,
right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. What are we still waiting on?
Yeah. Well, how does any justice served by even making him
wait another
day beyond that?
Right.
You know, like where's the justice of it? And
well, the
state Supreme Court is too cowardice to even see the case.
What is the impetus to even keep him in jail? I don't even understand what do you think is the reasoning of why you need to keep him in jail?
For anybody who thinks that argument about race and racism and that's why so many black people are in jail, people of color, period, are in jail, think that's bullshit. You can see when a man who is clearly innocent can't get released, that the system was set up to trap us. It's like where we're asking why can't a mouse that's a pet get out of a mouse trap? It was meant to get rodents, not the pets. It's designed to kill the motherfuckers. It's not designed to safely get the pet ones back. It's designed. The system's designed to kill us. It's not designed to send us back out. Yeah. It's not designed to send us back out rehabilitated. It's not designed to send us back out when it fucks up and we're clearly free. Like I said, when I graduated college 21 years ago. I hate saying that shit out loud, but I'm also happy to say that shit out loud that I'm 21 years past because I did some stupid shit in college and after. But when I graduated college, right before I graduated college, I did a paper that I had to do to graduate to fight a moral quandary, and it was on the death penalty. When I started the paper, I was pro-death penalty, and I switched over because I found out that
they just kill black people.
Basically, they just kill black people. Yes, black people.
It's a good reason to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like when I did
this
paper was very important. You don't graduate from St. Joseph's College without completing this project. You had to do the paper. You had to defend it in front of 3 faculty, and like, so I was doing like some really heavy research because I was trying to find justification for the death penalty. I literally was like that old Robert Harris joke. Give me a whole fucking bench of rock. You know, that was my mentality.
Electric couch.
Yeah, electric couch. Like fucking electric chair, electric couch. Nigga. That's what I was going in thinking. And I dumb jock shit. And after I did the research, I spent like my first week was just fucking mind. Yeah, like just fucking running everybody. I'm sure everybody who went to college, you had that thing where somebody like learned something and they were just going on and on about it for a while. That was me with the death penalty after this. I just wouldn't shut the fuck up about it because I just couldn't believe how the statistics.
Nigga, you high as hell.
But the fact that even
take a drink of water.
Even when DNA proved that people were innocent.
Yeah.
There were states that didn't want to let people free.
Yeah.
When DNA had proved the motherfucker couldn't have possibly done the crime, they still didn't want to release people.
Let me put on my Rob 400-year head start mask quick.
I'm just sitting here listening to this shit. Like, look, I understand fully that the point of this is for us to tell people the truth as we see it. And it is not our fault that the truth always leads to the same motherfucking thing.
What's that?
It's fucking 400-year head start of white supremacy.
We gotta get that on the soundtrack.
Man, you can't get around it. Like, check it, right? Like, when you go someplace and kill every motherfucker there and then import other motherfuckers to work for you, you are liable to do any goddamn thing, right? So when you make up a law, why in the fuck would I believe it to be true? You've already proven that murder don't bother you. That's the top one, right? That's the one. That's the diamond version of crime is murder. You exterminated a whole group of motherfuckers. So why would I expect that because you say murder is bad that you wouldn't do it?
Right.
The legal system is designed to work not for you, right? It's designed to work for other people. So like when a white dude go to court, he's going to get all of the shit that they say he's going to get. But you take your black ass to court because in the back of their minds, and this is the honest to God truth, dude, this is what happened. They figure you belong in jail. They figure you can handle jail. Listen to the excuses they give to other people. Dude a white boy raped a young lady behind a dumpster.
She was passed out. She was passed out. She was passed out. You gotta put that in there. Go ahead.
And they said it would ruin his life to go to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Like being fucked behind a dumpster didn't ruin hers.
Right.
Right? And I understand what I'm saying. If it's a
being
white
raped
dude
behind a dumpster. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fucked behind a dumpster. I fucked behind a dumpster before. That's what happened. I don't think I ruined nobody's life.
Your story was not the same. You big dude. You might have.
Nah. Many happy returns over here, fam. But I mean, who hasn't fucked behind a dumpster? He raped a woman, a passed out woman behind a dumpster.
I haven't fucked behind a dumpster, dog.
You never fucked behind a dumpster?
Smell of garbage.
Hey, I was in a car, but we was behind a dumpster. Multiple times, actually.
X said it like that's the
No, I mean,
I can't really get off unless I'm behind one or two dumpsters.
I might have fucked actually straight up behind a dumpster before. There's like somebody watching this shit like, don't act like you weren't behind a dumpster with me. I got a problem.
Yeah, these are the after college wild shits that you were talking about.
Yeah. That was surprised I survived.
Yeah, it's built into everything. I mean, you talk about the NFL, and they're just now coming out saying they're going to end race norming.
Bam! But I'm so glad you brought.
Which is literally is like
same shit with the prison.
Race norming is literally them saying that they're starting at a point of believing that black men operate at a lower cognitive function, and so when you're testing them for things like concussions and things like that, you're more likely to be like, yeah, you're fine because we didn't think you were that bright anyway because you're black.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. That's what race norming is. They were literally approaching their black athletes and going, we know you guys are naturally not as cognitively able as your white counterparts. So if you get injured if you're in any way awake, we're just gonna assume that's better than what you could have been, and so you're fine to go play.
That makes it even more ominous, makes it even more fucked up, is because not only do you not give a shit about the player, but the reason you don't give a shit about the player is because capitalism.
Of course.
Because I got to keep your big strong ass out there on that field. Because didn't nobody come to see the fat dudes who push on people.
Right.
They came to see your ass.
Yep.
So you going to take your concussed ass out there, and we'll turn you around towards the right end zone and just run.
There are some
the big thing is they were keeping people from getting their retirement, the compensation for the retired players who had CTE symptoms. Obviously, you don't know if you have CTE.
Like proving that you had the problem in the first place was harder if they think you're already starting from a lower.
That's even more fucked up because you're going after fucking 70% of the league is black.
And just to be clear, like the average NFL career is 3.5 years, and even if you make, I don't know, what is it, like if you make $3 million over the course of those years, spread that out over the rest of your life, it's like a $70,000 a year job, right? That's about, I think that's what the numbers are on that. If you take that $3 million, you spread out over like a 40-year lifespan, it's like a $70,000 a year job, and you get a pension at 3 years, but the extra half a year, your pension is based on how many years beyond 3 you've played. So you're getting pension based on a half of a year, essentially, of service. So
and most people don't make it to
$500, $500 a month, maybe, on top of the fact that like you didn't put away that $3 million because you didn't think you were going to be playing only 3 years,
and
right?
And most people who, I mean, I know that somebody says, well, I don't give a fuck if they came from a bad situation. They got $3 million. They got their shot. It's not our fault that you're too stupid and spent it. But they don't understand. There's two things that they don't understand. One, there's a predatory. Up until like maybe 20 years ago, and really strongly 10 years ago, when the Basketball Players Association started taking over player induction and teaching the motherfucking young players like about fixing your getting your money right and all stuff. Basically, when Jay-Z became a sports broker and all the top athletes start going to him, then all of a sudden the league and
they started getting them on their money.
Yeah, they started making them like that's why you're starting to see players now have shit after.
Well, the other thing that people miss,
they didn't have up until like 2010. That wasn't a thing.
Well, the other thing that people miss is that unlike white families who, if you come from a well-to-do family, like say a J.J. Watt, for instance, where like not only your parents have some dough, but like your grandparents are helping you. Like the thing that like black people miss out on is that like even if your parents had money, your grandparents probably didn't have no money, right?
And your cousins ain't got money.
So it's and not only that, but when you do finally make money, instead of just being able to have it because your parents and your parents had money, you're usually the one sending it back home.
Yeah.
To help all them people out. You got a cousin who needs something, you got the whole thing going on you. So that's a whole thing that goes on with that. There are some places where people have stepped up. In Texas, the Democrats walked out to stop a vote on election law changes.
That was dope.
Which I thought was a pretty cool thing. It's they thought this was a done deal. They were pretty sure that this was going to be a lock when it came to this going on. They believe the bill is going to lead to mass voter suppression. And I think one of the big points about this when you're talking about voter suppression in Texas is it's not that the Republicans there are just trying to stop Democrats from voting. They are also trying to stop some Republicans from voting as well. Like people always want to argue, like it's always it ends up being this broke white dude that always wants to argue, like, well, I'm oppressed too because I don't have any money and all this other shit. And people always want to be like, well, if you white in America, you got every break you have, which is kind of true. But the reality is that the people that are trying to stay in the elite spheres don't mind if some of their own people also get caught up in some shit.
Because you ain't that people.
When the Nazis were going around rounding up Jews, if they caught a couple guys who just happened to be German, but they were pains in the asses, they didn't have no money.
He looks kind of Jewy.
Whatever, man. We still got plenty of us. And our whole game plan is to keep fucking and making kids and keeping these people under our thumb. So, like, if we catch a couple of us up who just aren't, like, it was about superiority. And if you weren't putting out the type of effort as far as they saw effort to be or living the type of life that they saw as leading towards that superiority, they're very fine with you losing. right? And that's why you end up with broke white people that don't get no help in jail. That's why that's the same. Those white people, what they need to understand is that they do better off siding up with the other squad. Like if they would dump the white part and realize, oh right, like the effort would be greater. I think that's why you saw a lot more with the marches this last year. A lot more white people are like, wait, man, we're broke too.
Yeah, and I think the pandemic and the George Floyd situation created like the perfect tsunami of people having to focus on shit that they normally just try to not focus on,
right?
Because they're trying to stay in their own little bubble. Because if they figure if they stay in their own bubble, it won't hurt as much, or whatever people tell themselves. But you were forced because you couldn't go anyplace else, and that shit was on. George Floyd was on every channel. You couldn't go anyplace else, and also because you couldn't go anyplace else, and you probably weren't making the money that you normally made. A lot of white people realized how fucking poor they were.
It also became an opportunity for a lot of black people who'd been kind of chill at one point to kind of hit a boiling point, and a lot of black people who had white friends who had not heretofore not seen that boiling. There's a generation of people that weren't that missed the Rodney King shit.
Yeah.
And this is their first real not the average everyday just a black dude killed by police where there's a good argument.
Yeah.
This is some wow, that's ridiculous shit, right?
Yeah.
It was some over to the point where they were just like, oh wow, my black friends who have kind of been chill over the last 20 years about the random shit that's going on are visibly fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to take a deeper look at this, which I applaud anybody who isn't black and dealing with oppression who would look at that and be like, oh yeah, that is fucked up. What can I do?
I
right?
also even to go for. I think there was a wave of things that hit certain people who maybe weren't as active in this before, because there was always easy to have the narrative, well, that person must have done something wrong.
Right.
Well, with the George Floyd thing, even if George Floyd had done something wrong, you can see at 9 minutes and 29 seconds that clearly whatever he had done wrong, this was far beyond what he deserved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He would have had to have kicked a baby into traffic to have deserved that what we saw happen. I made a joke on some George Floyd shit, so there you go. And so I think people having to actually see it. But I want to go back to the thing I was saying about a lot of white people realize how poor they were. Because there's a middle class lie that a lot of people live, and as a person who used to handle people's money, that's why I learned most white people aren't smarter with money than other people. They just have more of it, and they have room to make mistakes. And the system is set up where they can take liens against property, and they have an easier chance to get property.
I mean, their homes are worth more money.
Yeah, and their neighborhoods are worth more money, so they have more value there. And there's other ways that they can get equity.
White people's wealth is in stocks.
White
people's wealth is largely in the market, and black people's wealth is largely in their real estate.
And in their car. No, just
we all know that's an appreciating asset.
I was talking about the trunk, nigga. I was talking about the trunk, nigga. I'm moving weight. No, I'm not. Just fucking around. I'm joking. I'm not moving a goddamn thing. Federales.
So, Donald Trump has been off Twitter and Facebook for over a year. Facebook just came out and said
it's been a year.
He's off. I think it's close. No, it's not been a year
No.
yet. It's not been a year yet. It's getting. I mean, we have to be getting closer.
I thought it was just 6 months.
That's still a good. Oh yeah, since he was out of office, right?
Yeah, it was the insurrection.
It feels like it's been longer. And I'm happy about it. But here's the thing.
No, it ain't been now.
Here's the thing. Facebook has come out and said it's going to be a minimum of January 2023 before he's going to have a shot of being back on there.
Wow.
And so what he did is he went to a blog. He went to a blog style website that he was just kind of putting out statements on, and he was still just putting out shit mad at Morning Joe or whatever the fuck. He would just go on rants about MSNBC, which nobody who gives a shit is even awake for that shit. But he had a blog that was getting
I agree with him. Fuck Morning Joe.
He had this blog going. He is taking it down. He shut it down. Apparently he got pissy because people were claiming that he was
he had a maximum of 4 million.
4 million views on the site, which is not even. There are other right wing sites that are way.
So this is the thing that makes this significant, and his pissy ass to get taking it down. I always felt that his Twitter presence was way overrated. He was botted
70
the fuck
million
up.
plus, 80 million plus.
He had 80, over 80 million Twitter followers. I understand 74 million people came out and voted for him, but
But it's obviously they really didn't want to hear what the fuck he had to say.
Yeah. Clearly, that army that he keeps trying to portray themselves, that him and his team to have, or him to have his army of people, is dwindling. Because if he was as powerful as the Republicans seem to believe he is, you'd have more than 4 million people following his personal fucking blog, especially when there's no place else where they can get direct, uncut Donald Trump. Like this direct, uncut Donald Trump, straight from you. That's cocaine from Bolivia, my nigga. And you not snorting it? That means you ain't into that shit. Well, like I don't do cocaine like that anymore. And but if you said, man, I just got back from Cali, I got some shit through customs you ain't gonna believe, it ain't never been touched. Like, I'm gonna gamble on some Hank Yankee shit and see what happens. I'm gonna see what happens.
Did any of you guys even check out the blog? Did you ever go to the site and check out Rob? Did you ever even look over there and see what's going on? I wasn't willing to. I didn't want to give it the hit.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Like what I think we got a misunderstanding here. Nobody likes Donald Trump. They like the opportunity to be violent in the street against black people. Right? And so they didn't really want to hear that shit. All they wanted to hear was go get them. Okay. You know what I mean? They didn't need to hear
the rhetoric isn't for them. They don't care about the rhetoric, you're saying.
They don't care at all about it.
That's good, because that means he's politically not as powerful as it seems as anybody believes.
You misunderstanding. Okay. If you got 4 million people willing to do whatever the fuck you tell them to do, that's all you really need to run a whole world. Especially in this country, because all those Republicans are afraid he's going to send somebody to their house. You see what I'm saying? You don't need a whole bunch of people. You just need a small group of gorillas ready to go do some shit.
That's why they're still, Yeah, you're right. That's why they're still faithful to him. Because, the Oath Keepers are still Donald Trump fans, and those are the militia guys. Those are, you know what I mean? The guys who are down to fuck shit up. Those are the guys who are
the motherfuckers with the van with the pictures of got all the MSNBC anchors taped to the wall. Yeah, on the inside of the van.
I mean there's definitely QAnon. Yeah, Rob.
The thing is, these people are armed. When we was talking about, hey man, we tired of getting shot up. Let's put our guns away, or let's get rid of them. And I'm not advocating for anyone to do anything. I'm just saying, because you're probably not gonna be able to win, but at least you could get them off you. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so when all these people, and they've been practicing. They haven't been sitting around. They've been building little shit in their yard to run around and shit. And they've been low crawling and all types of targets and shit.
Dude. The number of gun clubs in around where I live is fucking insane. Like literally there's one strip, 126, when you get off the highway coming to my crib off 55, 126. If you go straight down.
Why are you trying to give people directions to your crib right now?
I'm not. There's a lot of shit you got to go through after you get off there. Anyway, I'm not. If you
go to this gun club,
but if you go straight down that road to the main road, which you're gonna make me start saying shit because now I feel weird. There's literally like 10 gun clubs, like either gun or / hunting clubs.
Yeah, they're practicing
all like right in a row. Like this area doesn't have that many people. One would have done.
Right. They don't.
And there's 10, and it's like shit like that all over that area.
Think about this real quick. If you really want to stop a group of people, what do? You take all the warriors off the playing field. Right. The 90s was designed just for that. It was so many real dudes getting locked up. Now they ain't making kids, and it's a bunch of other dudes who, they make kids and they doing good. But I'm saying, like, these are the creme de la creme. A dude who decided, despite all of the stuff these people gonna do to me, I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do. That's a special kind of dude. Yeah. Now those dudes, if they white, become Wall Street advocates and shit. But if you black, what you become? A criminal, because they already want you to be called one.
Fluky Stokes.
There have on the plus side, J.P. Morgan has decided to freeze out. Now there's a lot of crazy shit. Well, before we get into that, Mike Pence has come out and said that he and Trump will probably never see January 6th the same, which I think is what you were talking about, Rob. Like, as long as you got 4 million people pulling for you, this is the current argument that's going on inside that party, is there are a group of people that feel Pence and are like, I want to fuck over poor people and shit, but I don't want to start wars over it. You know what I mean? And then there's the Trump people who are also, who have plans they have detailed plans to hurt elected officials, right? They got.
Why can't we just get these motherfuckers to Alabama and just say peace? Like, look, y'all have Alabama. That's a solid state.
Yeah.
4 million. 4 million.
You can have Alabama.
Like, you can have all that shit. Y'all can even have like the black historical parts of Alabama, because I'll never go back to that motherfucker again. Y'all can have it. Y'all can keep the fucking Confederate flag and paint the whole motherfucker,
Well, they need
everything.
So the problem is that Republican states need government federal money to run. So they don't want to leave.
I still treat them like a state.
They
just had to stay. They just wouldn't be allowed to leave their state. They'd have to all stay there. Alabama's beautiful. Like, it's everything they want. It's all the country shit they say they love.
It's good you're trying to freeze them out, because that brings us to the next topic. J.P. Morgan is actually freezing out any Republican members of Congress who voted to overturn Joe Biden's victory. So it's going to be J.P. Morgan isn't the only people out there. There's other people that will definitely throw out some money. But J.P. Morgan is a big name. So, they do put out a lot of money. That is it's a thing.
So J.P. Morgan Chase is run by a guy named Jamie Dimon. And if you can't pick up from the name Jamie Dimon, he happens to be a Joe. And I'm thinking that $6 million wasn't enough. That was probably it for him. He was like, oh, really? That's how y'all feel? Guess what? We're not cutting these motherfuckers checks anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was an impetus, but I just think, him in particular, that's probably somebody you don't want to piss off. He runs the biggest bank in America.
I'll be honest, though, there's still a lot of right-wing Jewish people who are down with Trump and everything he stands for, because
Bibi loves him.
There's that whole
Bibi
Zionist.
Netanyahu.
We can't make the acts of revelation happen unless
Jamie Dimon is very complex
Israel.
Man. I have admired him and also hated him, and I go back and forth. I'm mostly towards the hate side right now, but he's a complex cat, man. He's like Shaft of financial Jews.
The real tough thing, and this kind of heads back to what Rob was talking about having 4 million people behind you. There's been this new thing that has started popping up all among the Q circles, which are these people that still believe that Trump is going to be reinstalled as the president sometime later this year.
August is later this year.
By the way, Trump is still going around telling people he thinks that's real too,
and he 100% believes it.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
he's not manifesting.
He's not faking it. He's one of those guys who you got to speak it into existence. So he's just going to keep saying that. But his people, like Michael Flynn,
he believes in manifesting, like a bitch from the South Side with crystals.
He's just like a bitch from the South Side with crystals. Actually, got high heel shoes on and everything. But yeah, QAnon. Michael Flynn did this whole thing at this QAnon conference where people, for all of a sudden, this whole thing about Myanmar has popped up. We're like, why can't we get a coup like Myanmar? Why can't we get a thing like Myanmar where the military comes up? It's starting to circulate around, which, of course, the media goes out and they report on it, which makes it even bigger now. But Michael Flynn has come out and said this. No reason why it shouldn't happen here. No reason is what he said. He's tried to back off of it. But
yeah, to be clear, he was asked that directly at a convention.
Right.
And a person asked him that point blank. The audience cheered at that question, like, yeah, why can't we? And his response was, I don't see why not.
Right.
And then he went to elaborate. So when he says he didn't say that, there's tape.
Yeah,
nigga, of you saying exactly that and then defending it.
Yeah, he tried to clear it up. He said, "Let me be very clear. There's no reason whatsoever for any coup in America, and I do not have at any time, not at any time, called any action." He's just trying to cover his own ass.
Yeah, legally, because
they will put you in jail.
Yeah, yeah,
for being like, "Hey, why don't we
called treason?"
No, wait, I gotta stop you guys.
They put me in jail for it.
They ain't gonna put his ass in jail.
They just put that nigga in jail. He had to get pardoned.
He did just get out of jail.
Yeah, he had to get pardoned. That nigga's fresh out of jail.
That motherfucker didn't even get a lunch before they took him out of jail. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't going to jail. That's visiting.
For him, for white people, that's jail, nigga. Come on. Okay. For powerful white people, powerful level white people, that's jail. That nigga, just the thought that he almost probably kind of went to jail.
I think.
Okay, here's what's hurt my head. This is what I can't get off, and this is because ultimately, what Trump has done is become the best Russian asset ever.
Yeah.
And the thing that I don't think we really looking at, anytime you send somebody with the express mission of hanging you, and you still be like, oh no, that's still my boy. There's a reason that dude is doing that. It ain't got nothing to do with politics.
Tell truth, shame the devil.
he will send a group of people over there and kill him. A group of dumb people. And the worst thing in the world to get killed by is a group of dumb people.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach. You be thinking about it when you go.
And this is the other part of the equation that is very important that we look at.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trump was the president for 4 years.
Take your time.
He took all he could to get the Russians in every part of this American life.
Solar
and
wins.
they are so deep in what we do,
wins.
they can cut shit off whenever the fuck they feel like it.
I mean, that's what's happening. That's what's happening, right?
And the more that happens, this is my last thought. And
Take your time. Take your time.
The more that happens, the more they are going to say, we need somebody to defend America.
You know that's right.
Now, who they gonna say gonna defend America?
Who they gonna say?
Trump and the Republicans. Crackers.
Yeah. Preach on it. Yeah. Preach on it.
I mean, that's the process, right? That's what Hungary did over there. That's how they end up with the autocratic situation they've got there. That's been the process. They've got 19 candidates who are running for Congress right now. The QAnon members have 19 candidates who are running for Congress. That's too many, by the way. I don't know if that's
20 too many.
But that's way too many.
That's 20 too many.
That's
They should be -1 QAnon candidates.
Yeah.
It looks so there should be somebody who's not QAnon, but they said they sent a meme one time or something, and then they get kicked out just because they found the meme. And like, I wasn't even into that shit, but yeah, negative QAnon motherfuckers. That's how many should be running.
The army is trying to up its ranks of people. They decided to start recruiting soldiers on Twitch. This is obviously not. I mean, this is what we always knew was going to happen, right? Like they're going on and finding people who are live streaming, who are doing live streaming platforming with their games on there, and seeing people who are really good at shooters, and they're pulling them over. That's their move.
Dude, have you guys, because I know a lot of people watch everything on streams and stuff like that, so I don't know if this commercial, because this is a terrestrial TV type commercial, radio TV commercial, where they have the guy, this is a TV ad, where they have the guy walking and like, it's supposed to simulate social media, and there's a bunch of different takes that are, and it's all upsetting him. There's a bunch of political takes, like it looks like an anchor or something saying some shit, and there's stuff on a social media site, and it's like popping up in front of him, and the guy's just getting you all angry, and then something comes up, and the military, the I can't remember if it's the Army or the Marines, but one of them is like, we have a different option, and then he like steps through like a digital gateway, and he comes out, he's a soldier, and he's fighting motherfuckers. Like basically, he was like, hey, we saw what you did on January 6th. Let us refine you.
Yeah.
let us refine you.
Oh, yeah.
And make you into the weapon you meant to be for America type shit.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
They're literally going after the Oath Keeper, like it's
video gamers. That's their
and gamers and shit. Yeah. But they're going after people who dig that vibe, which are a lot of in the same.
It is amazing to me how they have evolved in their advertising.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that shit.
When they came after my generation, they had Luther Vandross singing this shit. All that you can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. We know you niggas broke and hungry, and you don't want to take Calvin's job down at the McDonald's. So come over here, you can travel, fuck all type of women, and kill people. That's
dude, their sales pitch was cold. The motherfuckers almost got me, and I had a college scholarship. I had no reason to go to fucking Navy, and they almost got me. The pitch was cold.
Yeah, I got as far as the ASVAB, and I went to the thing where they do the physical. I went as far as the physical.
Wow.
And before I could escape. So speaking of escape, we only got a few minutes left, so I want to talk about a couple of things on here. Ellie Kemper, the famed actress from The Office, has been in the news all of a sudden. I read about this months ago, and because
apparently
I just
came
knew,
out like 2018 originally.
I just knew there was never going to be anything that was going to happen with it, so I just kind of forgot about it. Like it was never asked of her in the time. Like I saw it, and then nobody ever said anything. So I was like, obviously nobody gives a shit. But it turns out that she was a member of the Veiled Prophet, which sounds like some fucking. That sounds like some Tom Hanks running through the Louvre type shit. You know what I mean?
I had a conversation with somebody last night, and they made it sound like she just was a pageant. In a pageant,
she's
and she was a random
19.
Pageant. Yeah, no, she wasn't.
It's a
just
staple
in a
of the city. Like
her
it's a St. Louis
were
staple.
Part of the organization.
Yeah,
you had to be a member of the organization.
They don't just make any old broad the fucking Veiled Prophet. queen. You know what I mean?
No,
Like she was down with the crew, dog.
Well, okay, and the person who I was talking to, I don't believe they're right wing. They call themselves a libertarian, but most libertarians I know leans right.
Yeah.
But the person I was talking to was like literally like, oh, it wasn't that big. She was just a person in a pageant, and that's what I mean when because I know he watches the show. I'm not calling his name out. Well, that's why I say you lean right, because the media that you listened to told you that. I actually looked up the story after we talked, and she knew what the fuck she was getting into. Her parents were clearly in some crazy shit.
It wasn't, so the veiled prophet cult or whatever, it wasn't necessarily the KKK, but they were definitely on some white supremacy shit.
Yeah, they were 100% on some supremacy shit.
Yeah, it's just like, they just didn't have the same name. They didn't get the charter or whatever. They didn't pass the charter because they were like, well, how do you feel about blacks and Jews? And they're like, well, below us, but we don't need to fucking kill them or nothing.
Yeah.
And
how much money do they have?
Right.
Do they own property?
So, apparently this group does allow in blacks and Jews now. I'm not sure how many of them are winning any pageants, but
wealthy.
You know what I mean.
Probably that's what I said.
Yeah. Nobody from Ferguson is joining the Veiled Prophet Society. I don't think that's what's happening.
There you go.
Bill Cosby is in jail. He said he'd rather go to stay in prison than go to therapy. That was,
Jesus Christ.
Which is like how
ironic for a guy
how
who's
much of
known
an
as a
old
doctor.
black man do you have to be an old black man who's like, I'd rather stay in therapy than go.
Well, he is maintaining his innocence, and to go to therapy would be an admission in his eyes. I'm not. I mean, I'm just guessing.
I mean, he wouldn't have to admit that he's doing it to go to therapy to deal with the situation. Like, there's still he could be dealing with his own traumatic situation, but he's going to be denied parole as long as he's not seeking some attempt because he's convicted. Yeah. So whether you want to believe, the way they work is whether you want to believe that you are guilty or not, your peers have convicted you. So the only way that you can prove to us that you are making an attempt to better yourself is by doing these prescribed things, and even then we still might not let you out of here when it's all said and done, because NBC might still be for sale when you get loose.
Nice. That was nice.
And we don't want to give you an opportunity before you die to make that purchase, right? Is that the...
We're blocking it. We're blocking it in all situations. We stopped you. We stopped R. Kelly, because R. Kelly was on that too.
I do want to talk about these last 2 or 3 things real quick.
All at the same freak parties.
Pablo Escobar apparently at one point imported
I love this story.
20 hippos down to Colombia when he was at his height of his power. Of course, after
that's cocaine's a hell of a drug. Only cocaine makes you think you need hippos.
Yeah, after they caught him though, he didn't nobody was like, we gotta get these goddamn hippos out of here. They just let the hippos go loose into the world. And now there's 80 hippos, and now they're shitting all in the water. And the algae from where the algae that hippo shit makes is not good for the water in Colombia because hippos ain't from Colombia.
Yeah,
this is maybe the greatest headline ever written.
Yeah, this is a great.
Pablo Escobar got one more fuck you to the world.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out. So now they're talking about.
What do you do with hippos? Those motherfuckers weigh tons, like a lot.
Of course, yeah. The headline of this article is Pablo Escobar's cocaine hippos won't stop having sex and pooping. They just keep making
cocaine hippos. Hey, we make it to the playoffs of code names.
Yeah,
cocaine hippos. That's
cocaine
our team
hippos
name.
is a move.
That's our team name.
So yeah, cocaine hippos. So now, of course, you know what men in charge like to do when they feel like there's too many animals around. They want to fucking shoot them. They want to go out and shoot. They're like, if we could just kill 20 hippos a year, which I'm sure they will sell those licenses off to a high price, and whoever's running the cartel in Colombia now will pay for it.
Is hippo meat a thing?
I don't know what you do with hippos.
Do you want to eat this hippo meat?
That's thank you.
The cocaine hippo meat?
Yeah.
Oh man, hey.
I asked the wrong guy.
Yeah. Dog,
Can he scrape? He wants to scrape the hippo first.
With some, get some plantains.
Just scrape him down and see if you can get any powder off of him. Is that the move? Is that what the
cocaine?
The last couple of things I want to talk about is not only are scientists now able to study cannabis. This is a small thing that kind of slipped by. One of the big prohibitors to being able to find out, how to really find out what's going on with cannabis is because of where it was scheduled in the drug scheduling. It was illegal to even study what the effects are on a broad basis. So finally, for the first time after 50 years, they've opened the door to more cannabis crops for scientists, which will only mean more knowledge of what's going on when it comes to the cannabis that we're smoking. And of course, better cannabis,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like the
more
you're gonna be able to lessen the amount you got to smoke to get fucked up. I'm sure thing is gonna happen.
There is a cap of like 28-29%. There's a debate of what like leaf weed can be. Anything that says it's over like 29% is probably bullshit.
Yeah.
And scientific study will probably let us break 29%.
I hope we can get
the
there.
first real 30%, boy. Woo, 30% weed.
I hope it's not like that false adage about you only use 10% of your brain, where it's like that's not really how that works. I hope it's like I want a real breakthrough here with this cannabis shit, fellas.
Oh man, what are we like? We've expanded to 58%. We doubled the potency of weed.
Rob is like, I'm just getting used to this weed. This is
yeah, man. I don't smoke a lot of this shit. I can't handle it. I get paranoid and upset because I realize that this shit ain't right, and I ain't got no way of stopping nobody from fucking me up.
You just have to deal with the fallout. Well, on the good news, as soon as this new good weed gets here, it will still be okay for all of us to go work at Big Daddy Amazon. They're going to stop testing most employees for weed.
Booking shows with Amazon.
They are in an attempt to try and make sure that they never allow unions at Amazon. They're now letting all the potheads and stoners join Amazon and work there. I mean, not that they weren't working there already, but now that you don't have to cheat on your drug test if you want to gig with Amazon, which seems like an easy way to try.
Bobby, does that actually work? Cheating a drug test?
I've cheated a drug test before.
I've done it before too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've taken some stuff.
Allegedly.
No,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, there's no crime.
Yeah, I've absolutely beaten a drug test.
And you wouldn't know which thing it was for. So yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, I did it. I did it.
I have also failed a drug test when I took something that was supposed to be that was supposed to clear, like just do a cleanse as opposed to like an actual like masking.
But
I just didn't read the package right.
Dude, when I was in college, I had a chance for a summer gig that paid like $20 an hour. It was a fucking insane good gig. I had a bunch of buddies work there, and right before I went to go do the interview, they was like, "Fam, let's smoke, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Dude, I'm going to fucking interview." They're like, "Man, it takes you 30 minutes to get there,
right? And
they are not going to drug test you the same day. Nobody gets it's a whole like week before they drug test you." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I could beat it." This chick in the interview, like, she's like, "Hey, we were gonna interview a bunch of other people, but you're fucking knocking us out, like, and I just want to get this over with. So you can start Monday. If you can start Monday, the job's yours." And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, great." And as we're walking out, she's shaking my hand. She's like, "It's really a pleasure meeting you." So we're walking out. The fucking chick who did the drug test, the lady doctor who did the drug test,
shit.
It's literally as we're walking out her office. She's walking out of her office, heading out. She goes, "Hey Jan, do you got a chance for one more? Because this guy started with us Monday." And she did it, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me! You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like literally, it was just the odds of like the timing of us walking out at the same time, and she saw her. She was just like, and she was in the middle of saying, "Yeah, we're definitely giving you this job. We want you to start as soon as possible."
So did you even take the drug test?
Yeah, I took the drug test, and they called me back. It was one of the most embarrassing phone calls I've ever got in my life. Because this was a fucking OG moment. This, I believe, was before HIPAA or before people cared about HIPAA the way they do. But definitely before HIPAA.
Just called you up and made fun of you?
Yeah, no, she didn't call me up. The lab called me up and was like, "You failed your drug test," which I don't even think they do now. You just don't get the fucking job. But they told me I failed the drug test, and I, in a moment of like panic, like, "That's impossible." And I was like, "Hey, I'm a DJ. Maybe I was at a party or something." And the dude literally said, "It was way too high to have been contact smoke." Like, with the amount of weed in your system was way too high to be contact smoke.
I failed the drug test and talked my way into a job once for a Fortune, I think 100, if not 500 company. Right? We dropped the light. We're still fine. We can see. We're about to rock out of here anyway. But
yeah, we got like 2 minutes. This looks spooky now. Looks like we're telling campfire stories.
So I failed the drug test. The lab called me up. This was less than a decade ago. The lab called me up. And they told me I failed. I called up the guy who was supposed to be hiring me right away, and I was like, "Yo, they told me I failed this drug test. I used to live in California. The last time I smoked was over a year ago. I have no idea how this happened, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "All right, well, I got to talk to corporate and see what's going on." And he called me. That was like on a Thursday or Friday. Dude called me up on Monday and was like, "Listen, I convinced him to take a chance on you, but you can't get in any type of trouble related to drugs while you're here, or else like it's a zero strike it's a one strike policy, you're out." And so I was like, "Bet," because I was like, I'm not gonna do anything where you'd have to drug test. Like,
I was working drug testing.
I was working an office job. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was gonna be driving. I wasn't driving cars for nobody. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, it's on now, dog."
At the jail, they give you a random.
Because I guarantee you would not have passed the test.
No.
They give you a random drug screen, and it has a number that starts with R. because it's random, and everything in the jail goes in chronological order. So the next number would be whatever.
Right.
So like in random drug screens, they gave me a reasonable suspicion drug screen. That's an altogether different thing. By the time they gave it to me in September, they had only given 5 other people one. And so when the dude come to me like, hey man, we got to give you a reasonable suspicion, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck what you give me. My piss is clean enough to drink. Now I say this to the dude who runs the jail.
Right.
I was like, hey man, you can test me for whatever. Because what they thought was I was beating people up. I had started fighting my supervisors and shit. And they was like,
this man got to be on something.
Man, it's got to be this nigga guy. He crazy, right? Then they gave me that drug screen, and of course it came back negative, and I just went back and fucked over somebody else.
Just kept whipping niggas. Gotta go. You better wrap up. When I was in college playing basketball, we thought we were getting drug screened. We used to practice at 5:30 in the morning, and our locker room was right across from another locker room. And the fucking testing thing was up, like the things, it's athletes being tested, blah, 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 NCAA. And we had just partied like a motherfucker the night before. Like, whole team was blazing and drinking and all kind of shit and other stuff. And I'm the captain of the team. I'm like, I see that shit. I'm in the locker room, hand in my head, just fucking whatever. And the trainer came in. I had to get like tape. And he was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I was like, man, none of us is passing this fucking drug test. He's like, what drug test? Who's getting drug tested? It's like, you didn't see the shit when you came in? And they're like, oh, no, that was a women's volleyball team. That had nothing to do with you guys. They just left that shit up there. They did that. I was like, oh, the whole squad was just like, we were about to have a shitty practice. We thought the whole, they can't fire the whole, I mean, they can't suspend the whole team. But we thought we were done.
On that note, where are you at this week, man?
I am at a couple shows that you'll have to see on XL Comedy because I'm dumb and didn't remember to
go to XL Comedy.
XL Comedy, it'll be posted.
Rob, what you got going on, man?
Robert_L_Hines. Keep up with both the tour, which is lockdown and the special, which is lockdown.
There it is. They got
your all of us together.
Your content's out too, man. You're putting out a lot of shit right now, which is great.
I am, which is incredible. Even when I work out in the morning, because I didn't go today, but I'm going tomorrow because I was out way too late last night. Even when I put that up, it's getting a lot of hits.
That's awesome.
I'll be putting them up again.
Follow me over at Mocha @_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. Mocha _Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. Find the pod at the New OGs Pod or New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Get to People of Comedy Network and People of Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. Catch us back here.
Can I plug
Friday.
one thing
really quick?
So there was a documentary made.
Yes.
About the entire shutdown across the country in comedy. And Brian Morton and Calvin Evans and I, all Chicago folks, were in it.
Oh yeah.
Along with Brian Redband and Giannis Pappas. It's called 2020 A Pandemic Special.
Nice.
And you can find that. It's in the link in my bio if you follow me at Aclysm, ACLYSM on Instagram. It's really cool to see how the industry adapted to all of this crazy shit that happened, and comedy actually survived and is now thriving.
Absolutely.
So if you're a fan of live entertainment, please check out that documentary.
Check it out. And catch us back here next Friday. We're back here for another one. That's what's up.
Go ahead.
Check it out right now.
A whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They can try to steal the